Welcome to Andi-Co Australia. I'm David Jones, and today I'm going to be talking to you about the Liebherr Barrique WKb 4612 single zone 195 bottle wine cellar. And when we talk about bottle capacity, we always talk about 750ml Bordeaux bottles, and that's the accepted measure for all wine cellars. So, having a look at the WKb 4612, you'll notice first of all we have now a black range to complement our stainless steel range. So the Barrique, which is in our black range, black door, black control panel, and all the same all the way through. And again, really nice styling and designed to blend in with pretty well any type of decor. First of all, we have a look at the door itself, double glazed. Now, double glazed means that the temperature inside the unit will stay consistent. Doesn't matter what the fluctuation is outside. It's designed to make sure that the wine stays at the same temperature. And the idea for the longevity and the storage of wine is to actually make sure we don't get too much fluctuation in our temperatures. That's what the double glazing will do for us. The other thing about the glass door, it is UV protected. It's actually a tinted glass, which means that we stop the UV light from coming inside and damaging our corks, tainting our wines and damaging our labels. So that's the idea of the double glaze and the tinting on the glass door. When we actually have a look inside, you will have noticed that our control panel is at the top, and we can actually see that whilst the door is closed. That's extremely important. That means all the time we can actually see exactly what the temperature range is inside the unit. So if we set it at a particular temperature, we know that it's accurate, and that's where it's going to stay. So control panel at the top. Also, we have a key lock, which basically means that obviously when the door is closed, we can lock the door and protect our investment by keeping it away from people that we don't necessarily want in there. So temperature, if we have a look, the temperature setting is anywhere between 5 and 20 degrees. Now, this is a single zone unit, so we can actually use it for serving temperature of all one type of wine, and that can be anything from champagnes at 6 degrees to heavy reds at 16 degrees. We can also use it for long-term door alarm. Basically, as you can see, obviously the door is open. We have a door alarm which will inform us if we've left the door ajar accidentally. Obviously, that's a pretty good safety feature built into the unit. When we talk about, again, back to temperature, we can actually use it at one single temperature for long-term storage of all different types of wine. So at 11 degrees, for instance, we can store champagne, reds, rosés, whites, the whole range, because all wine needs to be stored for long-term storage at exactly the same temperature. So again, between 5 and 20 degrees. Humidity is extremely important when we're actually storing wine, for several reasons. The Liebherr Barrique wine cellar is set between 50 and 80% humidity, depending upon the ambient humidity. That's an average of around about 65%, which is exactly where it should be, to look after corks, for instance. If we have wine under cork, we need the humidity to stay at around about 65. What we don't want is cork shrinkage or cork swelling, because obviously if it swells we get wine coming out through the cork. If it shrinks we get air going in, both naturally detrimental to the wine. Even if we've got wine under screw caps have a seal inside, so if the humidity is incorrect we can actually get that seal shrink and allow air in, and again that's just going to damage our wine, and that's certainly not what we want. So 50 to 80% humidity, which is exactly where we should be as far as the humidity is concerned in the unit. The shelving that we use, if you have a look, is natural beech wood, and it's untreated, which means no varnishes, no stains. The good thing about that, obviously, is we're not introducing foreign odours into the cabinet, and the natural timber will cradle the bottles and support them whilst they're resting through their ageing process. So very important that we have that type of shelf all the way through our unit. Inside we also have a charcoal filter, which is an activated charcoal filter. It means that because these units breathe, they breathe through the charcoal filter, which the charcoal filter obviously purifies any odours that we may be dragging in, because this may very well be an area where there's cooking. So The idea is to keep the inside of the unit pure and the air clean, obviously for labels, so when the wine is actually breathing through the cork, it's not breathing in any unnecessary odours. So that's charcoal filter. You'll notice that we use a single LED light down one side, which illuminates extremely well across the unit. LED for two reasons: because it's a cold light, so it's obviously not going to interfere with the temperature in the unit, and it's a softer light. A little bit like we have UV protection on the door because we don't want harsh light coming in. We don't necessarily want harsh light inside, so LED light's very, very important. Down in the bottom of the unit we have our compressor, which is mounted on rubber buffers. Now, when a compressor starts up, it vibrates, which is the nature of the beast. The idea of having them on individual buffers is so when that happens, it doesn't transfer any motion or any vibration into the cabinet, so therefore, again, our wines can rest comfortably. So, style, black, beautiful finish, blend in with pretty well any decor. The control panel, so that we can see it all the time, obviously very important, so we know what's going on. Temperature we can set anywhere between 5 and 20 degrees, and it's a single zone, so the fan in the unit will make sure that that stays constant all the way through. Humidity between 50 and 80%, which gives us a perfect average of 65% to make sure we look after our corks, screw caps, labels, etc. Shelving, natural beechwood, untreated, obviously perfect for resting the bottle, but also untreated, not to bring any odours into the unit. Charcoal filters to stop any odours coming in externally, to keep the inside of the unit pure. Lights, LED lights on the right hand side, LED cold and soft lights so that we don't get too much illumination or any heat. And the compressor mounted on individual rubber mounts so that we don't get any vibration transferred into the cabinet itself, which is again very important and looks after the wine, and that's pretty well all we're here for. So WKb 4612, 195 bottle capacity, Liebherr Barrique wine cellar. Thank you.